This is Fictional Problems, a podcast where we discuss all things writing, in association with Speculative Fiction Ireland. Quote, you can create the characters, you design their personalities, their past, their dynamics, and then they refuse to behave the way you plan. At some point, you stop arguing with them and just take notes. End quote. As this definition of the writing process can be found circulating within creative writing and book lover communities, in today's episode, we decide to give our take on it and assess the different aspects of the definition. Join us. And welcome back to Fictional Problems, the podcast where we discuss all things writing with myself, Gary J. Martin, and
myself, A.R. McNevin.
Yes, and today we're going to take a definition of a writer. Is this
which has gone around the internets?
Is it the viral?
Has gone the viral in whether it be BookTube or I don't know where I found this, but this was a something that I found on one writers group that defines the writing process.
Yes. So today in this episode we're going to just have a look at the writing process,
or at least this definition of it,
and discussing this definition of it.
Okay, so
let's have it.
So this definition goes like this. You create the characters, you design their personalities, their pasts, their dynamics, and they refuse to behave with the way you planned. At some point, you stop arguing with them and you just take notes. So I'll say that again, because my phone turned off halfway through that. You create the characters, you design their personalities, their pasts, their dynamics, and then they refuse to behave the way you planned. At some point, you stop arguing with them and you just take notes.
Now, you don't like this at all.
Of course I don't. I am the corpse at the dinner party. I am the curmudgeon. I think this is utterly abhorrent.
Utterly abhorrent.
I think,
and you can't recognize any of that.
I can.
Okay.
Oh yes, but no, sorry. It's okay. The first part, yes. So the first part, yes. You create the characters.
I do create characters. Yeah.
You do design their personalities, their past, their dynamics. You design that. That is all of you.
Yeah.
It is when you get that next line of they refuse to behave as you plan.
Yeah. You don't think so? Sometimes?
I think this is a definition of a bad writer.
Oh no.
I think this is a person, because what I thought immediately when I read this, because it was on the same writing forum. A few years ago, there was this person who came on the forum and went, I'm planning a 6-book series.
Yes.
Epic novels.
Good for them.
100K per.
Amazing.
200K per book. And people who respond on the forum, well, good luck.
All the best.
And then one person asked the question, have you done anything else?
Yeah.
And their response was no.
Uh-oh.
They haven't done anything.
I see a red flag just popping up there.
No, yes. Well, it's a big fucking red flag. It's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
So they had not at that point done a novel, a standalone novel.
Short story.
A novelette, short story, paragraph, haiku.
Written a menu.
No. The question was, had they even composed an email? They
gotta love the ambition.
Yes, but and that's like I was one of the more curmudgeon ones going, not liking the ambition.
Yeah,
because you look at people who are actually doing that work,
mm-hmm.
and that's taking years out of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is so when someone comes along and goes, I'm going to do exactly what you can do, and you're going, sure, okay.
I have no evidence to say you can't right now, necessarily.
This is true.
Yeah.
And pretty much the conversation kind of ended with, well, come back after you have the first draft of the first novel and best of luck.
Best of luck. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. We're not, no one's going to say you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. This is your time, but be aware that to write 6 novels of that length, you're talking about it being 20 years of life.
Yeah.
As in there it being, let's once every 2 years, say a book. So that's 10, let's say 10 years.
Yes.
That's still, that's a massive amount of work.
And was there any awareness on that person as to the sheer volume of work that they had just declared
well, that's
with a flag
yes
of their own, just saying, this is what I'm going to do. I was like, okay, well, are you appreciative of what you have to do in order to achieve the thing you just said?
That is the thing, that if I think that, and I'm maybe mixing up memories at this point, but the idea of, well, I can write an email and I write at a certain pace.
Oh,
Like say I have X number of words per minute.
okay.
Yeah, that's not how you.
No.
Yeah. Because there'll be years of your life where your hands will be hovering over the keyboard and no words are coming.
I was just going to say, for anyone listening to this that it just thinks, oh well, I've excellent word count as on my typing skills.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, but words don't flow as fast as you can type always.
Yes, and indeed, well, they can.
They can sometimes,
but it spikes.
Yeah,
it's like, say, just an example. Just last night, I was writing till about 2 a.m. and I had a good what I would consider a good
on a roll.
Yeah, for about, like, I stopped and started for about a couple of times during the kind of 3 hours, then 11 and 2.
Yeah.
And I think I got about 2.5 words. 2.5 words. Oh, 2,500 words down, and that was a success.
I was going to say 2.5 words in the beginning. I just stopped there.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the ellipse. It's just fuck it. Okay.
No,
I'm
tired.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. Yeah, but that was a success, and that accounts for a day's work. So I pretty much started. So that was between 11 and 2 o'clock in the morning. That's 3 hours, 2,500. That's really, really good.
Yeah, well done. Yeah,
because it doesn't. It can occasionally flow, and you can trick yourself, and you can do. I'll do this scene, and that'll be my focus. I'll just do that scene, and no matter if it's 500 words or 2,000 words, that'll just be what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Now I'm aware some people, as they're doing that, they there are authors that keep putting in placeholders because they want to keep going. They're like, oh yes, he climbed to the top of the. Okay, get back to that, and then they said, oh, I'll get back to that, and you're left with this kind of scattered narrative of things that you have to go back and have a look at again. Anyway,
absolutely, yes, and that can, again. This is that's a perfectly prominent way of doing things.
Yeah,
100%. But even at that, both that speed of, by the time you get to the end, you don't have full manuscript,
no,
because all the holes. But even the speed to get to the end of the full manuscript won't be that 100 words a minute, 80 words a minute.
Definitely not.
And then you have to go back and you have to fix those holes, and then you have to do the editing on those. So, as we've talked about before, how I love the editing process. So you have to find so not just because it's not just I want to write a novel.
Yeah.
I want that's a whole writing a first draft of novel. That's great in itself. As accomplishing that is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done. If you manage to get, no matter if you sit in the drawer for the rest of your life, hitting those last 2 words, the end, is a wonderful thing to have happen for you.
But it's not uncommon in human behavior to, I suppose, set grandiose goals that, if you were to think about them, they're not as realistic as you claim. Like if someone's sitting down who not a runner decides, I'm going to run a marathon. It's like, okay, yeah, well, that's fine. As long as you are aware that there's a lot of work between today and running that marathon, then that's okay. But if you think you can just sit on the couch until the day of the marathon and go for a run and hope to actually complete it, then you're fooling yourself.
Absolutely. Because I was wondering, hang on, the marathon would be because the action of doing is the marathon, and the action of doing is the writing. So yeah, absolutely. This person didn't do any of the training required to get to the start line.
Yeah,
and they just want to hit the start line and go. So because I would say then, if that person, if you're the marathon runner, and you said, I'm on the couch, I've been on the
It'd be fine. I'll do it live. Do it on the night.
Live. Yeah.
We're going live. We'll do it live.
Bill O'Reilly will never live that down.
Yeah.
Every other marathon runner, what are their reactions to you?
Yeah, not positive.
No.
No. They'd be like, who do you think you are?
Exactly. Who do you? So while there is, while you want to be positive and you want to go, do it, absolutely, strive ahead. There is a case of when you're in your second kilometer of the marathon and you're already on the last ebbs of your tank, then and everyone's has left you in the dust, they're not going to stop for you.
No.
Or they're not going to slow themselves down while they're doing their work. It's in a similar way. There is a rash on the same forum. There's a rash of people who go, we'll exchange books, and we can do arc readings, and we can put reviews for different books for ourselves. Like, no, fuck off. Also, or someone who wants to write but wants to get someone else to do the editing for them, or wants to be a writing partner. The same kind of thing. It's like, no, everyone in this group. The reason why they're in the group.
It's like, I want to stick my name on the end of it when you're done.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one way of looking at it. But that everyone in that group, everyone who says, I want to be a writer, that's the qualification to be in this group. You don't have to have proved you've written anything.
Yeah.
You just have to want to be a writer to be in this group. So when you have someone who goes, I want you to do my work for me, am I going to set aside my own aspirations for you?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, really, no. And the ones who,
I mean, if I'm finished doing what I'm doing, I might think about it. But I have other things to be doing. Yeah.
Are you ever going to be finished in what you're doing?
Nope.
And what exactly are you going to be able to provide to that person in the pause time between book 3 and book 4? You know, when you go, okay, I just need something to distract me. Okay. When they say, well, can you write the first chapter? You're like, no, this is your thing to do. But
I'm
they don't
not
know
writing this book. You are, yeah.
So it's very much a kind of almost like a business mind of you're going to do the work for me.
Yeah.
I was like, no. So that was my immediate reaction when looking at this quote.
Yeah.
Because the first part of it is, yes, writers create.
It's a statement of fact.
Exactly. We talked before about our different ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
My process being the whole world building, character plot. Those 3 things exist together. Yes, you create everything. Everything within your world is yours to create.
Except in fanfiction.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to mention.
Sorry.
We had a listener who disagreed with our ideas on fan fiction, which I said is fine. But
anyway,
that they disagreed. Oh, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yes. Sorry, our one fan is wrong, and I'll happily debate them over. But it's the refuse to behave thing.
Yes. Okay.
And then they refuse to behave. They do their own thing, and then you're just taking notes. And I think it's almost psychotic.
Okay.
It is because so these characters don't exist in the world. They exist in your head.
Yeah. If
you can't control them, you've got.
What does that say about the inside of your head?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, I remember a quote from J. Michael Straczynski, where he said, in order to get into writing for certain characters, for writing for Lando Mollari, all you need to do is go, Mr. Garibaldi, and that line, and he was in the character.
Okay.
The character wasn't separate from him.
Yeah.
He would key into the character, but the character, he had assembled this construct of what this person was.
Yeah.
And he would be put in like a skin suit and be that and flow in the story for that as that character.
Yeah.
And then he would interact with his other characters, and they would be meat puppets for him to manipulate.
Okay.
So if they're not behaving, then it's I would say that there's a flaw happening somewhere in your process. Either you didn't design them, or your designs didn't fully account for things. Like the one thing that I thought of when I was reading this was that how in it's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
there's a guy called Folding Ideas who's a very good YouTuber. I recommend. He
50 Shades of Grey. Excuse me, which was itself supposed to have been fanfic.
Oh, absolutely.
Twilight, wasn't
yes,
it?
It absolutely was. Yes, yeah. But it was that but this guy Folding Ideas, he broke down the books, and the result of it is that the main character is a sociopath.
Yeah,
it's not a BDSM lifestyle; it's a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that you could say was an unintentional action on the part of the writer, because in the fanfic, Bella would be the main character in the original story. Bella was the main character in the fanfic that became 50 Shades.
Yeah,
Edward is the main character. That's the one that the author was most protective over. So it is so the character becomes what, maybe not what you intended this to be, but what you designed them to be.
Okay, yeah.
But the decisions that are still made by you.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you've put yourself into a corner, or if you've written yourself into a corner, then you did it.
You gotta write yourself out.
You can indeed. You can go up, down, left, right. You
just hit delete somewhere.
That's well, that's not a bad. That's not a bad option.
Yeah.
But the idea of if you're not making the decision, someone else has to be. And the idea that someone else is a fictional character in your head that no one else has created, that's really fucking bad in my mind.
When I heard that or read that, just first off, I was kind of thinking,
you thought it was good.
I thought it was good.
Yes,
because it felt like, and maybe I'm just a bad writer.
Okay, maybe you're a sociopath. Okay, I'll slowly...
Either I'm a sociopath or bad writer. I don't know.
I'll slowly back out.
Insofar as I have not necessarily felt that exact thing happening, but if there was like a wider context to, yes, the characters are there and they are a certain way, and in order to try and keep them psychologically realistic, you might have had previously ideas of story beats and plot points and places you wanted them to go and think, but in order to get them there, they wouldn't, as you've established them, they wouldn't behave in a particular way to hit that plot beat.
Okay.
So you might have to just rethink either the story or rethink the character.
100%.
So I mean that's, but when I first heard that was the first thing that came to my mind, was that sometimes starting off your world building, character and plot, they mightn't align, they might misalign at certain points where you kind of have to reassess and kind of restructure either the character or the plot or the world in order to kind of produce, to be coherent and consistent with your characters, with your story, and with your world building.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I was. That's why I thought it was good. But that was the first thing that came to my mind. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, I create this character and they're completely acting contrary to the way I want them to. It was just not so much that they're not behaving, but it was like they wouldn't act in this particular way at this moment of the story. That sort of thing, because I'm trying to keep them like psychologically realistic, or the parameters I have set. They would do something different in this situation, so I'll reassess. That's all I was really kind of thinking.
Okay, sure. Because that position does not have align with what is that there, because what you're doing is you're making decisions based on your characters and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I take this from a kind of a second and third book, a kind of a series.
Yeah.
Because the book isn't finished until, or the characters aren't solidified until the book's finished.
Yeah.
So the idea of you creating the second book and the third book and the fourth book in a series, that you created a character that didn't fit in with where you want to go. So that's not them conflicting with you.
No, sure.
That's you conflicting with you.
Yes.
That is.
Well, it's all the author, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Or it should be.
Unless
you are
unless you are sociopath,
psychopath,
exactly, or multiple,
schizophrenic.
Yes, multiple personality disorder, and you've named them all, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
That it is a. How can I raise this point? That you set out a goal for yourself, and then it comes a quality of talent, and perhaps over the course of our little test over the next few episodes, talent may be the kind of thing that we talk about the most.
Okay.
or at least the thing that I want to push the most. And because the last episode we talked about, why we think we're good writers, and this has been kind of sticking in my head since then. And that's why this quote kind of jumped out at me, that the person set themselves a goal of hitting a certain point.
Yeah.
Whether you are a planner or a planter or a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
You wanted to get to a certain point. And that's where so a disagreement has happened. That you chose because you chose, say, an ain't it cool moment, or this is really great, or refuse to kill your darlings when they should have been killed off.
Yeah.
You made the choices that put them in a situation. Like, you could look at, say, Game of Thrones, for example. Both Varys and Littlefinger were incredibly powerful, wonderful characters in the first few seasons of that show, and they outlived their usefulness.
Yeah.
Characters that should have been killed off earlier on, or should have left the narrative earlier on, weren't, because they were popular
characters. Yeah.
And that doesn't have to be necessarily popular with an audience, but popular with the writer.
Yeah.
The writer likes these characters. They are their darlings. They want them to keep around. And every decision that they made, from romantic decisions to action decisions to plot decisions, they all were the writer's decision making.
Yeah.
And they have now maybe found themselves in that cul-de-sac. They found themselves in that corner and going, I don't know where to go. And the characters, as written, clearly have they have said, it's like saying that you write a character and you don't realize that they are narcissistic.
Yeah.
For example, it's like saying the characters are expression of yourself, and your heroes or heroines, your protagonists, they may be a closer reflection of yourself. So when you have a character who is, and you have a character you love, that's a narcissist, you go, shit, I may need therapy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, but that is the character who has, and you have the one who decided that's their action.
Yeah, and
that's their decisions.
That's their personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are the one who put them on this course.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the case that
you broke it, you bought it.
Exactly. you wrote it. You wrote it. It's up to you. It's not so. Then that's the majority, but that isn't the entirety of the quote. This is where this is why I really.
Oh wait, there's more.
That's no. But I've given you the entire thing. Yeah. But we talked about the creation process, and then they refuse to behave. As you have planned. The last line is, at some point you stop arguing with them and you just take notes, which means you decide to give away so you're essentially giving away your autonomy to, or you
a fictional character in your head.
But it's almost like, and I don't like the fact that you mentioned fan fiction so early, because I want to mention it now. Because essentially you become your own you're writing a fan fiction about your own work.
Yeah, okay, that's dangerous.
So you have divorced yourself from the world. You've divorced yourself from the characters. So if I'm doing a Harry Potter fanfic, Malfoy has to be Malfoy. Potter still has to be Potter. No, these are your words. These are meant to be your characters.
Yeah, they
can make decisions outside of a scope. But no, you have decided that I'm limiting myself to these characters as written. I am not entering any more elements to them. They can't do anything else except be the people that I accidentally have written. So
you can't just sit around and take notes, because
it's
what are you taking notes on?
Well, that's the thing. You are because I think it is easy enough for, say, when we say sit down and say we're going to write the scene. It's almost like loading into the computer. Okay, I'm loading the character, I'm loading this existing state.
Upload set, upload location,
exactly.
Upload time of day,
exactly. All these things get loaded in, and indeed, all these things get loaded in the background, into your RAM of what's happening in other states.
Yeah,
and okay, so I know that this conversation needs to end, and it needs to go in this direction.
Yeah,
and that's the challenge. Like, so as an example, I'm in one part so I'm dipping into Quantum Fantasy 4 at the moment, and I know exactly what of the three main characters, or four main characters if you count Laura, of the four main characters, I know the vast majority of what they're doing. but I don't have a way for one of the characters to get from where they are to where I want them to be.
Okay.
And
They're not behaving?
That's the thing. That's the question. So this is where I'm saying that and I know it's a conversation, and I know what
Well, sorry, forgive me now, because that mightn't be a behavioral issue of a character. That might just be a situational.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
yes,
sorry,
yeah.
so-
But that's what it is. But a situational problem is characters.
Yeah.
They are dealing with one another. That's the situation. So then you have the how these characters who don't like one another have to reach a detente to allow. So either I force a detente on them and go, okay, right, these people will have to get along, which I'm struggling to find at the moment, or I essentially go the long way around. That I could create a whole bunch of other plot in order to get. So it's like you're on one side of a river.
Yeah.
You can either build a bridge across the river, or you can go all the way down to where the river fords. You can just walk across it.
Yeah.
So either you go the long way around, or you actually do some hard.
It reminds me of a game mechanic from the RPG Scum and Villainy, where you can employ flashbacks to explain the thing that you're just about to do.
Really? Yeah. That's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Because I designed a game with that sort of thing in mind. I referred to it as Lukashenko storytelling. The idea that as you advance, so either during a game session or when everyone gets their XP, a character can go, and by the way, I was part of this thing. That's why I knew now suddenly have a drive skill I didn't have before, because I never needed to demonstrate that drive skill. Or I now have contacts. Like the idea of when in all these games you have, say, a contact pool, and it's represented by a stat. I have contacts 5.
Yeah.
Okay. But you haven't.
Now you're calling on one of them that
exactly.
You need,
so suddenly this person has always existed, but you're manifesting them. So, and that's grand, as long as you have established that character as being a contacts person.
Yeah.
A person who can, like, there's a line from James Bond. I can't remember the name of the guy. Oh, he shares my comb.
Okay.
It's from, I think it was Dr. No. That he just, people he knows.
Yeah.
He's just a person who knows.
Is that Felix Leiter? No.
No,
the CIA.
He was referring to, I think it was Dr. No, the one with, I forgot, I can't remember.
Okay.
But that's fine. You can essentially add things in that are within a scope, essentially.
Yeah. And you're thinking of doing that to get your character.
It's because I know what the character is, and I know where they want to be.
Yeah.
I just don't know and maybe it's the case that I have to come to a realization myself. I'm reminded, perhaps arrogantly, of when Josh Whedon was talking about figuring out Angel as a character.
Okay.
Because he knew he wanted him to go evil. And that was in season 2, I think.
Yeah.
Halfway through season 2, yeah. Surprise and Innocence. The 2 episodes. And apparently, it was the story that Whedon tells is that he was walking on the pier in Santa Monica, even that place too, near Saint Monica, but not. And he came up with the idea of it's vengeance, not justice.
Oh yes.
And that phrasing is what I'm looking for from my own talent.
Yeah.
And this is why this
because vengeance and justice are not the same thing.
They are indeed not the same thing,
but they can be confused.
They can, and there is discussion, and there is you can have vengeance, and you can find justice inside vengeance, but it is hard, and you have to squint, and it causes people to ask questions.
Yeah,
it's not a cut and dry thing. From a writing point of view, it's fucking lovely, and it's so simple. It's something, and essentially, it's just something that can be said by one person in one line that completely makes everything understood.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of Batman Begins. I think it's younger Bruce before he leaves. He was going to shoot Joe Chill.
Yeah, he was Falcone. Or
no, the person that was killed.
Oh, it's right, Joe Chill. Yeah,
and he's sitting in the car with Rachel.
Yeah,
and I think she says something along the lines of how vengeance and justice aren't the same thing. And he thought they were, and just
or that he didn't care.
He didn't care.
He wasn't one of her good people.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So there is, and that starts him on his journey, and that's again a wonderful encapsulation of the the gunshot, essentially in this case, that started off that path. And this is where I kind of come back to kind of talking about the idea of talent and our last conversation about being a good writer. I don't think that's a definition of good. This is a definition of a good writer. I think this is a definition of someone who, as it creates their own fanfic and then is locked in.
How do we know that quote isn't specifically about fanfic?
Because this was posted on a writer's forum, not a fanfic forum, and writers that agree with it are people like Stephen King.
Oh,
so
I mean, I can see, like, you package it up in that nice little kind of bite, and it kind of almost sounds witty. And like I said, the first time I heard it or read it, I got a different impression than you did when you first read it. Like I thought about, as I explained earlier in the episode, that's what I thought when I heard it. So I don't know if Stephen King likes it in that way or likes it in the way you know.
Yes, but
it's hard to know.
It is. He's an old man, and he's
like
getting adult. But it's it's the while I'm looking for that one line.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I have to take notes from my character or my characters. I'm not saying I have stated what my characters. I created my characters the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
No one else has.
Yeah.
And
but I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying part of every character in a narrative should be that they are either growing or changing in some way or developing.
In general sense, I'd agree. There are characters who have
not dramatically or not always dramatically or not in large ways, not completely reversals of their personality or things like that, but like growth happens.
Yeah, I would say that development, and that's one thing that I don't include in my setup, is character development is not necessarily a requirement for a story.
Yeah,
it is something that is absolutely valuable or can be valuable in stories. But when I hear people, especially people on the right wing hate mongers, well, there's no character development. There's a lot of stories that have no character development that are still good. The focus is on the plot, not on the character. The character was a good person at the start. They struggled through the plot, and they're remaining this good person at the end. That they
Captain America. Perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He is good. He stays good. He continues to be good at the end.
Yeah. And he becomes the bastion by which everyone else stands.
Yes.
That that he continues to have conflict with Stark, and also we're getting into the realm of bad writing. But yes, he starts off as a good person who would do anything despite his ability.
Yeah.
Then he's given the abilities, and he's still a person who'll do anything.
Yeah.
He'll lay down on the wire.
Yeah.
To
instead of cut it.
Exactly. So when I get to a quote like this, it is the marathon runner. Is the person saying that this is kind of an insult, that you are divorcing yourself from your talent. That if this person has created these characters, these plot, these relationships, these dynamics, if they have done all this work and then they just go, I'm going to write fanfic, it is just like if it was that person who wanted to write those 6 novels and they've written the first 2, and then they go, what is that? I can't see good quality coming out from the next 4, or will they even want to?
Yeah,
I think it's
we're not going to get into the realm of unfinished sci-fi and fantasy series right now, because we talk about stuff that has been good but is just unfinished. Such as Winds of Winter isn't out yet.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think I've said previously that I think that those books are written.
Yeah.
That they may be released posthumously. Because he has had all this time, and this is a massive amount of time. That I think that the pressure of it, that if he has decided this one will be released in my lifetime, he wants to finish it.
Yeah.
Great. He is, saying this. I'm not being morbid by saying. I'm saying that he's a very old man, and he is a very, very, very talented person. And I very much want to read the end of. It's not even the end. It's like the last third almost of the
Okay, yeah.
So that if you were in that situation, if you had this world renown that. Like those books were started in the 90s.
Yeah, but you could argue like he doesn't necessarily owe the fans anything.
No, but this is his opus.
Yeah, sure. This is from his legacy.
From a completely personal point of view.
Yeah.
If like say they asked the question of if you were to die tomorrow, what would you want to do? Or say if you were given a terminal sentence, or diagnosis. That you were, you had a year to live. Would you go around the world? Would you see all the places you want to see, or would you finish off the work that you had spent so long on?
That's hard to know.
It's
hard to know.
For me, it's not a question.
Really?
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of factors that would have to come into play.
Oh, sure. Well, you have a life. I don't. So.
I know.
So if I had nothing but 6 months to live, then I would finish Quantumancy and do what I could to finish, because there's those the things that I haven't published that they want out there.
Yeah.
This went fucking morbid anyway.
Okay, yeah. Let's bring it back.
No, because it is a case of the writer who represents this quote, is divorcing themselves from their talent, and in this. I am saying I would embrace the talent, what talent I have, to the end, because of various reasons. I'm sure we can get into another point, but it's the question would be the answer is too easy for me.
Okay,
that the remaining 3 books in Quantumancy that hasn't been published, haven't even rewritten.
Yeah, that would be
the
your opus.
Yes. And as go to dialysis or go whatever, chemo, come back in. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, well, let's get back on a brighter note. And
on a brighter note, fanfic's terrible.
Yeah. Tell me how much you really feel about. No, we won't get into that. We might wrap it up here in relation to that particular the writing process.
Sorry. We went fucking dark. Like, yes, let's have a light-hearted conversation about a quote. And then I was like, no, if you're gonna die,
I'm gonna die, man. I'm gonna get my book done. Yeah.
So if you've been enjoying this on your drive home, it's like, hope you have a good evening with your
may everyone have long, happy lives. Full of satisfaction, and if you're working on writing, make sure. I hope you get all you ever wanted achieved.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. But we will leave it there to maybe go out and readjust, get some air.
Yes.
Leave the studio for a minute and maybe turn on all the lights so it's a bit brighter in here.
That's the reason why. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.
Keep watching the skies.